we're going to give it some time for everyone else to arrive before we begin.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey. Oh.
Yeah, you okay there, bud?
I am now, yeah.
This is your reminder to use the meeting chat channel. Do not use the chat channel for the meeting room itself. We'd very much prefer you use the meeting chat channel. And if you need a reminder of where that is, I put it inside the meeting room chat itself. I know that sounds questionable. So,
Something.
as much as I'm a fan of your ASMR note, I don't think everyone else wants to hear you breathing.
Oh, what? You can hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
And
Dr.
just none of
Baby,
you
we can
decide to let me
always
know.
hear you intaking oxygen.
I
Yeah,
don't know
either
whether
move
that's
your
a
mic
good or a
way
bad
closer
thing.
or mute it.
I moved it away.
Bet.
Yeah, see, Rosenrod gets it. You guys are just plain evil. Okay, Callan is okay.
Callan, you gotta pay for that if you want to hear it.
No,
Yeah,
don't say
nothing in
that.
this life is free. Certainly not that.
Seen your avatar going green? Well, I'll just move my mic away. Damn. Appreciate the very late warning about it.
I'm gonna put my headphones on so I can't hear the echo of myself from down the hallway.
Oh boy.
I hope everybody's doing good today. What's up, everybody? You enjoy your season? You happy it's over?
Hold on a second. Did we get confirmation that Boris, in fact, does not use headphones to play?
Boris is currently primping in the bathroom, doing their hair, scrunching the curls, which means that the meeting is on the phone on speaker, which means that I can
Oh.
hear
Why?
myself.
Why would you call me out like this? What the fuck?
Okay, yeah, okay. Why would you call them out like this?
It's
What?
deserved. Totally deserved.
Why that? Damn, bro.
Why
I thought
would
They
it's
took
the
away the
Boris
pontiff's
slander.
pacemaker.
Deserved.
No, that's my sword now. Nope.
It's no
My
one's
sword.
sword now.
True. Actually, very true.
No,
I can't
no.
believe that you called me out like this. That's so fucking rude.
Listen, Apples, you can call me out, but don't call my boy Boris out like that.
That's right. We leave the love
Oh.
hammer alone.
Should we
I'm
start
gonna-
calling
alone.
Shin Diddy the new nickname that I called them?
Which is what?
Bone Daddy?
I hate you.
Daddy.
This is horrific. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Shin Daddy. No, I don't think my wife
Shin-
needs this sort of these sort of nicknames, you guys.
Shin Daddy.
Oh my god.
All right.
Shin Daddy.
How much
I'm
more
giving-
time?
I'm gonna give one more minute. I will start at 9:35.
Sounds
1
good.
minute countdown started.
1 minute countdown. Just to give these latecomers tiffed the fuck offany. That's what she deserves. She deserves to be tiffed the fuck offany.
The Node ASMR had to be cut short. It's too powerful. You need to pay for that.
Alrighty, it's 35. I'm starting. Hello, everybody. Welcome to your season 1 wrap up community meeting. I will be your first speaker here today. This should be a pretty fast meeting. We don't know a lot about season 2 so far, so that would be the information that we give you, and it's not season 2 time yet. We will have time for questions at the very end, but we're only taking questions. We just don't have time for the 35 people that are in here to all wax on about what they did and didn't like for the season. So please, questions only. We just don't have time for folks to get up and be cheeky or share just general feedback. We will have a feedback form coming out later this afternoon. I'm going to start off with the burning questions on everyone's mind. Oops, I went too far. Which is our general timeline for the next couple of months. So for those of you that are new here, we are a 3 months on, 3 months off community. This RP space is very intense, so we have a lot of folks that play every single day. So we really want to make sure that we give time for people to take a proper break, play other games, do other things, run the dishwasher for their spoons, all that good stuff. So we will not be starting season 2 for 3 months. You're still welcome to use the space in the meantime. Please, hang out in the VCs, play other games with each other, all that good stuff. So I'm going to go over our immediate timeline. The next month is going to be the admin break. We go completely offline. We're not doing any prep work. We're running our dishwashers. We will still have a skeleton crew here for tickets. So if somebody new joins and they're saying slurs and shit, and we don't see it because we're outside touching grass, please open a ticket so we can kick them into the sun. We'll still be here for that sort of thing. We'll also be here if you want to put events on the calendar. So if you want to plan, a night to play Peak with 12 people and you want to put it on the event calendar, you can just go ahead and pop a ticket and we'll put it on the calendar for you. So if you want to play Peak or Phasmophobia or Helldivers or something, you want to plan events for other players during the off time to play other things, please just pop a ticket. We'll put it on the calendar for you. We won't be taking tickets for roleplay overview or character workshop or anything like that, just because it's break time. Save your burning questions, please. We'll start taking those sort of tickets probably in December. So when the admins come back from break, a couple of things will happen pretty quickly. So the first thing that'll happen when we come back on November 1st is the Discord cleanup. So That means that the season 0 legacy channels are going to go away, and season 1 is going to move down to the legacy area. So if you have not scraped things from season 0, bats, waygates, all that good stuff, please do so now, because those will be getting, spent away on the on November 1st. We will also be getting rid of all of the faction specific roles and all of the faction specific channels. And just as general, like the stuff that was only relevant for season 1. So like the affliction roles, the affliction channels, all that good stuff. Discord cleanup is going to be pretty intense this time around because we're going to be moving things around, renaming channels, all that good stuff. So this is a preemptive, please pardon our dust. So once we've handled the Discord cleanup, everything is nice in order. The admin team will select their teams for the season. And then we'll kind of move around roles a little bit, who's doing what. Once we have our teams decided, we will start on our preseason prep. So we all come together, all of the roleplay overview admins who choose to do so will, pitch a story idea. We'll take 1 or 2 of those and then start writing for season 2. Once we have enough of an elevator pitch, we will have our first community meeting to give you like an idea of like, hey, like here's the lore, here's like the changes to the world state, here's like the the elevator pitch for what we're doing next season. But we won't have that until our decision is solid. So our first community meeting will either be in late November or early December. But we don't know yet. It really just depends on how quickly we cook, how quickly we, are able to write the lore, get all those burning questions, all that good stuff. The feedback forum will also close sometime in early November when we come back from break. So we can take that feedback into consideration when we're writing for season 2. So please make sure you answer your feedback form sometime this month, because in November we're going to close those so we can look at them. So sometime in probably mid to late December, we will open up our whitelist applications for season 2. We will also open up the event volunteer applications. If you're an event volunteer this season, you're welcome to reapply next season. If you've never done it before, you're also welcome to reapply. The more the merrier. We do kind of shift our expectations and like the rules for EVs every single season because we learn as we go. So because of that, we do make people reapply every season just to make sure that everyone's on the up of in the know of all of the changes that we've made. We will also post any finalized rule changes sometime in December, probably. And we will be posting lore and world updates. So we will give you, updates as to what is possible. So like what's been happening in Frankelberg, what's been happening in Voltraxis, what's been happening in the Deadlands. Just updating how places around the world are responding to medium magic, that sort of stuff. And then because December is a fucking terrible time to start a season, because technically 3 months would put us firmly in like mid to late December. But that's a terrible idea because this place is a ghost town because there are so many holidays for so many people in December. So December is a terrible time to do anything. Yeah, let's start on Christmas Day. Great idea, guys. Or a day before. Yeah, so we're not going to start in late December. That's a terrible fucking idea. We will start in early January sometime. We don't know when yet because we don't know when admin vacations are going to fall, and we need people here to like build the free world build structures and stuff. So we don't have an exact date yet. We'll give you that date probably in the first community meeting or probably in a second one that'll be in like December sometime. I forgot to put it on here, but I will be doing a couple of workshops in November. I'll put them on the calendar when they're ready to go, so be watching the calendar. We'll have fun stuff coming your way. So that's our timeline of the immediate future, and then so I'm going to pass it over to someone else to talk about what we can about season 2 so far.
Yeah, so season 2, it will be medium magic. We've already established that with you guys in Whispers of the World. We will have a lot of examples in a preseason channel. We don't have specifics on what you can and cannot do, but we are going to adhere pretty firmly to the restrictions because this season was kind of a combo low magic, medium magic season. We want to make sure that you guys are staying within the appropriate setting for what you can do. We are not doing a faction season. We will give you a tag if you have enough people. Currently 15 people is the limit for getting a faction tag. but we'll handle that obviously next season. There will be a pretty lengthy time skip depending on which lore pitch we end up going with. It will be somewhere between 100 and 500 years. We will let you know as soon as we make a final decision on that. We will update everything, like Naku said, as far as world lore, our admin official country lores, and race lores, probably sometime in November or December. We will be cooking a lot in November, so please be patient. Do not overcook in the in between. We will shoot down things that don't fit into the setting if you overcook and make something that doesn't fit. So please do not work on specifics as to anything until we release the lore to you. You do have to leave Vardoran at the end of the season. There are a few characters who will be staying for reasons, but unless you have prior approval, which the people who are staying already have, you have to leave Vardoran. And then we will be introducing a new race called Rotlings. Some of you are already aware of it. They are only going to be playable by season 1 characters who got afflicted, or if you are making a new character, we will have a contract out eventually for you to play that race. Yeah, so I'm going to pass it off to someone else to talk about the other changes.
I'll take that. So we're gonna change some internal things for coordination and disciplinary. Mainly just this is more of a heads up. I don't think we can share intricate details, but if it's anything that affects the server at wide, we'll definitely let you guys know, such as rule changes. We're gonna be adding some new rules and a rule change log so that you can actually see what's new instead of having to read through every rule again. We can also tell you preemptively that we're gonna have a new form for tickets for events themselves, so that when you open an event ticket, you can ask a bit more questions, such as, is do you have more details? What does the character know about Vardoran? What does the NPC know about this and that? Just so that we're more aware of the event itself and don't have to bombard you with 301 questions. So when you come to us with an event idea, technically it should already be formulated so that you know what's going on, so that we know what's going on. We will be transitioning player support tickets into the mod roles, since the mods have all of the permissions required for that. So from this point forward, you're going to see a lot more blue names than purple ones in those tickets. We're going to be reworking Warbats, its system mainly. So if you have any feedback, put in a ticket or in the form itself. Let us know your thoughts about it. It helps us change things around.
I do believe
Uh,
we have a question in the feedback form specifically about warbats. So if you have
yeah,
ideas on how we can approach those to make them better and more streamlined, please put your thoughts there.
yep. All of the team, like Naku mentioned earlier, all of the team roles are going to be tweaked and adjusted. You're going to see the ticket pod change a lot of things, like who's answering what and where things go. The feedback form is going to go out after the second community meeting later. Or was it tomorrow, I believe? So formulate your thoughts now already if you want to, so that when you
Girl, it's
open
in
the
like
form,
6 hours. It's later this afternoon.
it's later today. Okay, that also works. Just again, whenever the feedback form is released, go ham, go at it. Please fill it out. There's also a transparency report that's going to come out later. I'm going to look the form. No, Tony, don't. Bad. Report is going to be about the server finances, I believe. So be ready for that as well if you're curious how that works. And I believe that's all from me.
Yay! Okay. So we do have time for questions. Also, Hart made this really, really cool design. And it will be available on t-shirts. I ordered the test print of it this morning, so I can post like what the actual shirt looks like once I get mine. And then we'll also add this as a server sticker. So yeah, if you guys want the wheel shirt, the wheel shirt will be available for your purchasing pleasure. So we will again be taking questions right now. So raise your hand if you've got something burning that you need answered. But please remember that we're not just taking general feedback right now. Please save that for the forum, because we don't have time to listen to everybody's feedback right now, and that wouldn't be fair if we let one person wax on for 30 minutes and then told everyone else no. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand and we will get to you.
Yeah, so there's a request to speak thing. Just do that, and we got you. Okay, we got our first speaker. Welcome, Callan. Please do not meme. Give us a serious question. Thank you. What you got
Hi.
for us?
A simple question. Why 100 to 500 years?
So I can answer that as somebody on RPO. So the reason why is because we want time for the players that are returning to have begun a new emotional arc. Because if the time skip isn't long enough, players will just feel like their character got no break, no change between seasons, and that can kind of make it hard to transition them into a full season length arc. It also gives us time to make a plot that would realistically happen within Vardarin. So, whatever forces are working in Vardarin for you to face for the plot of season 2, we want to give that force time to realistically be in the state that it's being. Because, if we establish, let's say, I don't know, some evil dude from Beltraxis is there and he's taken over all of Vardarin with machines. It is now the Transcendum country. We would want time for him to realistically take over Vardarin and put Transcendum people everywhere. Like, that's obviously not what we're doing, but we want to
That would be
give
cool though.
yeah, we want to give the story time to breathe. So we want it to, to make sense logistically, like lore wise, why it is what it is. But 500 years is on like the really really high side. I personally feel like it'll probably be somewhere in the middle. It really just depends on what the story needs. Whatever the story needs will be the length of the time skip. So if the story can, is just like off the wall flying, we'll roll in, with 100, 200 years. If it's something that needs time to set itself up, dig its teeth in, be like a very established force in Vardarin, then it'll be on the higher side. So yeah, that's why.
There is a second reason as well. If you think about magic like a pool, like a smooth pool of water, and you drop a stone in it, which is basically what happened when we transitioned from low to medium magic, it takes time for things to smooth out to make things usable again and stable. So that's the other part, is to allow the world to kind of breathe in this new environment.
Makes sense. All right. Eat my ass.
All right, thank you for coming in to speak. Do you have any other hands? Anyone? Raise them up. Raise them up. Any questions? We are more than happy to answer anything you got. And if you don't necessarily want to come up onto stage, you can just type out a question. But certainly, we prefer to address it vocally, I suppose. I see someone typing. It's okay if if you need like a moment or two to think of a question, don't worry about it. Perhaps I can address like some of the allegations. I know there was a question about more races in the future. I know we want to expand on that. It's no secret. The entire community knows where we've been experimenting with werewolves, right?
There is a
Who knows
question
whether
in
that'll
the
work?
chat.
Yep, please throw it at me.
Is there going to be a limit number for the maximum different characters one person can play?
Oh, perfect. That is a great question. Yeah. So, I we don't have a hard limit yet, but I would like there to be a bit of limit. What that limit will be needs to be kind of like decided on. Um, One of the issues that we run into every season is some folks want to make alts, and while that's not inherently bad, right? Maybe you've got something going on like your main character, and you want to relax and just play something less stressful. What often ends up happening with alts is any sort of connections and like relationships that happen on an alt. Now, this isn't exclusive to everyone, right? Some people are able to manage it better than others, but a lot of times alts just don't really get the proper amount of time and care that they need to be treated as like a real character. So I'd personally like to cut down on the amount of alts into next season. Um, just kind of make it like you make one and you're good until you perma, right? Now, obviously that's my opinion on it. The team itself hasn't come to like a full decision, of course, and that's something we'd love to hear your feedback on. So, depending on how much people like or hate alts, we might just axe it for at least right now as an experiment, right? But that's again a discussion that needs to be had after we see what the people think. Personally, I'd like to put a cap on it, though.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So that's definitely something we're in active talks about. So if you've got strong feelings about alts either way, please put that in your feedback form. Um, And then I've seen a couple of questions. So Lothric asked, will things like Witch Dust and Arcane Weave be brought back next season? The answer to that is yes, but they will be different because medium magic will change things. Tiff asked, will lore submissions be opening for the player base again? That's not the plan right now. Just because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Because if like 10 people submit lore for Frankelberg in the between times, and we only really take like one or two of those ideas, the other 4 people might be sad, and we don't want people to accidentally like overcook based on what they submitted just because we might not use it. So at this point, it'll just be admin team additions to the lore of what happened during the time skip, just to make sure things keep clean and nobody gets hurt. We will do lore submissions between season 3. Friendly reminder that season 2 is the last one of this arc. So after season 2, we will be doing a lore wipe. So we will likely take lore submissions to build the new world map for season 3, but we're not going to take them for season 2. And then will players be able to cameo their character changes in the world state? I.e., yeah. So if you want to do stuff like that, absolutely, you're welcome to encourage other people to make references to your players, to like build your characters into new characters in season 2's backstories, stuff like that. We won't be canonizing anyone at like the global level, probably, just to avoid stickiness and accidental power gaming. But yeah, if you wanna like write your epilogue about how legendary Theophany is, do it. Do it. Clan sizes will probably be back to 8 at the start of the season. I don't know though, because somebody asked. That's a question for us at the beginning of the season. So my assumption is 8.
This not so subtle reminder to leave your feedback.
Leave your feedback, guys. If you want bigger clan sizes, put it in the.
Yeah, it's really important. So
Um,
Nessie, I saw you were wanting to speak. Do you still want to come up? Yes or no? Yes, I'm calling you out.
While Jex is typing, Justin asked, in terms of big bads, will Science and Afflictions once again be coming back as the big bad? So, I will
Oh,
say,
I had already written something out. I think that was as close to what we were wanting. Yeah.
no,
Oh,
no,
oh,
no.
you know what?
So
Fine.
you're not an RPO girl. So
Listen.
we've had 2 seasons in a row with a sort of like apocalypse now situation, like with the Elder last season and with the Scions this season. It was like, if we don't stop them, the world's gonna end, and that's stressful. So I will say for sure, our stakes will be lower next season. What remains of the affliction is kind of the untainted by the scions benign version of someone being born with too much entropic magic or having a buildup of too much entropic magic. So rotlings will be around as a race, but they're a benign non-threat. They're not going to be evil rotlings that want to take over the world. They're just going to be another race. So scions will definitely not be the big bads. You may see remnants of the scions of entropy in the form of, like, I don't know, the villain of the week pop up, but they won't be the mainstay villain. There might not even be a mainstay villain. We don't know what the plot's going to be. So no, we'll be doing something completely different. We always do between seasons. Yes, what you did mattered, and the effects of that will linger on the world state, like you burning the fuck out of the lay. That will have effects, but the science of entropy will not be the main villains. And the affliction will be around, but it won't really be catchable anymore, if that makes sense. It's not going to be contagious. You either have it or you don't.
Another question. What going back to the lore? What if it's lore for different countries or things?
I don't
Uh,
think we have any plans to expand the world map. Um, if people want the world map to be bigger, put that in the feedback form. And if a bunch of people want more countries, we can consider it. But that's not something I think we were ever planning on. Question mark. I mean, if a ton of people want more world map, we can make the map bigger. But as of right now, no. There's no plans to add to the map.
Another question from Annabelle. Newer here, what is the gameplay difference between medium magic and low magic?
So traditionally, low magic is what is only available in game. Now, obviously, that got stretched out as the season went longer. And when we announce next season, we will have a big chunky document of here's things that you can do, here's the limit, here's the line. Do not step or cross this line. So that's a great question.
Yeah, we will because to be honest, this season was functionally low magic by the time we got like a month in. Like people we let players push the envelope a little far in terms of what was possible. So we take ownership for that. But it's hard not to with an apocalypse plot to let people stop the apocalypse. So that's also our bad. For media magic, we will be formulating like a full list of like examples of like these are things that are possible, these are things that are not possible. So players have a better idea of what falls under the purview of medium magic because we will be being stricter next season. Like there are some things that occurred this season that were frankly like edging into high magic, and we really don't want that to happen again. So just to keep things interesting, stick to our own rules. We will be putting out a list of, hey, these are some examples of media magic. Here's where the ceiling is. This is the expectation if you're doing a ritual of this scale. No.
If you aren't sure next season, please just open an RPO ticket and ask, is this possible? Before you do all of this pre-preps, set up this whole ritual and everything, and then we say no at the end. Ask before you start prepping, just to avoid any hurt feelings.
On that note, added from
Feelings
Yusad,
and wasted time.
if a character has carryover effects from this season, how soon should we open an RPO ticket? When doable, or is it simply something to include in character application?
Once we put out whitelists, if you have questions of, hey, can I do this from last season, we'll answer those questions then. So sometime in mid to late December.
On the topic of tickets, something we forgot to mention in the notes earlier. Something I wanted to bring up, and I know a lot of our disciplinary members feel the same. If you feel that there is a problem or something that's like that could potentially turn into an issue, please talk to us. And the more of you that come to us, the better as well. I know there's a lot of ticket anxiety, but this is just something that tends to be an issue. Like, we're a very important category to have as many perspectives on as possible, no matter how little you think you might add. The more people that are talking to us about a potential problem, the better. Especially the earlier an incident that happens, the better as well. Just so we can, nip it in the bud before it becomes a real issue. Yes, we cannot be overwhelmed when it comes to disciplinary. We will more than happily answer anything you got.
Justin has a question about the previous season. If we
Yes,
got
please.
the bad ending, would the server get lore wiped because of it?
There was a permutation of the turbo bad ending. If players just didn't do anything to stop the rot, magic would have completely died, and yes, it would have been a lore wipe. Probably not. That was like one of those things where it's like hypothetically this could happen, but it'll never happen because our players are too goody two shoes. It's not possible. But in a hypothetical world, if all players like went hard into the rot affliction and like the turbo bad end, like yeah, we could have hypothetically had a lore wipe after this season. Probably not because we wouldn't want to do that without warning you. But you know, if we were going that way, we would have let you know. There were a lot of different endings for the season, but yeah, no, we didn't get the turbo bad ending. We got
Yeah,
the
y'all
the
talked about a
balanced.
lot of endings.
Mm-hmm.
I would have personally, you know, on the topic of things that could have been, I wanted the Ultra Luminance ending, personally, as a, you know, not so secret Luminance worshiper.
Raise the light.
What about me? Y'all out here saying down with I'm here. Paladin Peter's here.
And we're very big fans of the Luminance here. All right, fellas. Any other questions we have here?
Crayon just posted one. Are we able to get some behind the curtain looks now? It's all said and done. Silly things we just barely missed. For the previous
Oh.
season, that would be up to.
We
I
have
have-
we have posted some like random bits of the scale in general of like, oh no, they fed that dog. Just because we had some funny shorthand for when people tip the scales. We won't be releasing the full scale just to avoid people being frustrated with each other because that's sort of the one downside to the tug of war method is people get pissy when other people, you know, directly undo their work. So to avoid hurt feelings and resentment, there we won't be releasing the full list. But yeah, I mean, if you have specific like questions about things that were functionally happening, I'm happy to answer like back end curiosity questions for season one. But yeah, I mean the rat has the funniest NPC summary out of all of them because his alignment was anti-Zerat. Um it's just little shit like that, but not really anything else that comes to mind. Sorry,
One
I
fun
just rambled.
thing that was part of the design that never came into play is the Crooked Crow. He was he was one of the quote unquote weaker scions set to be beholden as a design space to kind of lure in players of like, hey, I got gooped. He's also gooped, but why is he different? He doesn't look like the encased and he doesn't look like me. And that was to encourage sort of a curiosity of players of like, oh, there's something more happening here. Because Crow was a tier 2 goopy boy. What never came to pass was because he was tier 2, it would be possible for a player to eventually become encased. And at that point, you're higher on the like hierarchy, and then you could give compulsions to the crow, and then you would have a little puppet scion you could order around. Never came up.
That's pretty interesting. Even I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, Phoenix 8 like to give you an idea, I think Phoenix ended dead with like 106,000 radiant fibers eaten, something like that. I did the math at one point. It was too many. So if you're wondering how Phoenix almost became encased on eating fibers alone, I would just get regular screenshots of Phoenix in the corner somewhere surrounded by radiant fiber and being like, hello, I just ate 20,000 more. And I'd be like, okay, roll a d20 for your fucking hunger level, you freak. Um,
It instantly
yeah,
became a hyphae. My goodness.
yeah. So if you're wondering how Phoenix in particular got as deep into the affliction, the answer is he was that dog and he ate so much fiber.
Anyone want to be brave? Be pulled up? Hmm? We love pull ups. Come on, come here. Hi. All right, Aaron. I meant to click Nessie, but you're coming up first. Never mind. You put your. Oh, there you go. There you
Oh,
go.
hi. Yeah, I know. I guess, is there any more that you can tell us about specifically like medium magic, like how that's gonna look, or any ideas that you have for that, or nah?
So one thing will be ritual. RP will be a little bit less people dependent. There'll be more that you can make, more that you can do. Part of, I'm sure you noticed, if you needed to do a really fancy ritual this season, you needed to have like 8, 20, 30 people. And that's because it was
Mhm.
low magic. So next season, if you're planning a fancy ritual, there won't be as many people needed probably. Um, I think we'll dabble with like the lower end of like soul magic, the very lower
Ooh.
end. Please don't become a soul wizard in the time skip. That's still high magic, but some soul magic, maybe some like spirit magic, more like spirit communing, things like that. Um, we won't be doing realm walking. Realm walking is firmly high magic, so don't plan on going to any other realms. They still don't exist. I can say that with certainty. There are still no other realms that are accessible in season 2.
Mhm.
Um, does anyone else have specifics in mind?
Find out what you can do when we post the document in November or December.
Yeah, yeah. That is.
Cheeky, cheeky but true.
We'll have a lot more well written and reasoned explanations for what exactly is medium and arguably low. That wouldn't be a bad idea to write out as well. Just for like, hey, I really don't know what specifically this is, and then there you go. You got your quick sheet as like a little bit of a guideline. Do you have anything else for us?
Oh no, that was it. I was just wondering on more specifics, but I understand. I will be patient.
Mhm. All right,
All right.
perfect.
I'm ready to be booted.
Get out of here. All right, next speaker. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
This might have been answered. It's just been hectic on my end. I was a little, without revealing anything, I guess, about the plot for next season, as that still needs to be worked on and stuff. I guess I'm curious how much is going to be pulled forward from this season's plot, or if that will just become history for the most part.
I would say
the-
75% history. There's still some lingering things, like some of the wounds and like damage to the lay that the Scions did can still be like worked on and healed. So there'll be like little things like that. I'm not going to get too much into it, but there'll still be lingering effects of like things that people didn't do. The waygates that the Scions blew up are still going to be fucking borked. You still cannot use those 2 waygates. They are piles of rubble, and they will be locked for the whole season because they are piles of rubble.
Okay.
So yeah, there'll be a lot of like little things that carry forward, but we also wanted, that's part of the reason why the time skip is going to be so long. We want time for the world to like breathe and feel like it's on a new chapter, because we don't just want to rehash season 1 again, because that'll get repetitive for folks. So we want to give ourselves enough room to do something different. But yes,
Okay.
little things are loiter. Like the 4 faction dungeons will still be around as structures next season. We will rebuild them in the before times. So the 4 keepers will have a permutation of the faction dungeons. Those will still be around. Yeah.
Oh, are you doing dungeons next season?
Yes, we'll still have open world dungeons. There won't be the big faction ones, but there will be the ones randomly in the wild that you find. I think that was a pretty raging success. The people that found them loved them. So I can't, not to speak for the whole team, because we haven't talked about it, but I don't see the reason why we wouldn't.
Find out I see.
I mean, did y'all like the dungeons? Let us know. We
We have a form you can fill out.
Fill it out.
Dude, we love the
there's-
dungeons in GC.
There's a really nice feedback form that you guys should fill out the second we drop it.
I'm gonna be real. Tony, release it. The people need it.
Let me drop it right now. Right now.
So, is that all you
Hold
need?
up.
That was it.
All right.
Thank you.
So, thank
You
you.
just
And now for our next speaker. Hi,
Hello.
Hi.
Big. In addition, as a question for Aaron's question before, will we be able to turn medium magic to high magic, or will it be like a full-on medium magic season?
Entirely dependent on what we decide for the plot. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say that's more of a preseason question, just to ensure we got everything that we want settled first. Obviously, as our resident magic hater, I'm screaming eternally. But if the people want it and it's decided on by RPO, I don't see why not. Really.
Okay. That was all. Thank you.
Thank you for coming up.
Question from Percival. How much time needs to pass for the fix of the waygates?
So I will say the waygates will probably not start fixed. You'll probably have to do something in character either through an event or the admin plot to make it so you can teleport again. The fucked waygates, the 2 fucked waygates will stay fucked. They are piles of rocks. There was an ending to this season where the Scions got all the waygates, and so the waygates were completely unusable for respawns except for the ones in the crypts, by the way.
What mods will there be next season? I think for right now we're just gonna keep what we got, with maybe a few additions, but we don't really use like a whole lot of mods. I think I would like to experiment with the merchants again if it's working. Wow, crazy! It's on the feedback form. Amazing. But anyway, yeah. So, Hestia, real quick, that was answered. Next season, there will not be factions like we had this season, but you can still make one as always. Heltier, back to you. We are going to use currently everything that we have right now, and I'd like to personally get rid of Bloodcraft. Just because the stat balancing is frankly a bit of a nightmare, but it has a really useful feature of the force spells as well as well, really it's just the force spells. That's the huge thing. But if we can find a way to like just have only that, I'd I'd prefer it. But that's also what gives us things like Radiant Fiber, Gold Ore, and whatnot. So those are also useful RP tools in the same way. So, at minimum, expect to have everything that we currently have right now.
There's mod feedback in the feedback form.
That you'll see later tonight.
Yes, Phoenix, we
The
can set
feedback.
everything stat-wise to 0. However, the one thing that we can't do is adjust the health and damage that you get from weapons, which is a bit of an issue.
EVing this season was rough because the balancing around Bloodcraft is difficult this season because we kept running into issues where our EVs would fucking be obliterated and melt in 2 seconds, or they were just sponge walls. It
Yeah.
was really really hard to find that balance just because builds could change things so extremely. So one group of 10 players could be balanced for, and then if you took an NPC that was balanced for those 10 and put it with a different group of 10 players, they couldn't kill the NPC because they were too spongy, because it really just depended on what builds were present. So
Mhm.
yeah, we gotta make some adjustments.
To give you an example of how messy it can be, we did a warband early on in the season where oh yes, we will have a better calendar. That's actually something we had been talking about internally, so we're definitely gonna happen. Anyway, as far as the warband goes, we had a real no. Sorry, I'm sidetracking myself. TLDR, all of the event volunteers for this warband for the Venom Blades got horrifically slaughtered and could not actually do any damage. Meanwhile, we were getting one shot by the players because we didn't have stat adjustments. We did not boost people's proficiencies to 100. They didn't have 100 alchemy, so they got absolutely slaughtered. And then about the fish tanks, for those who are marveled by the fish tanks, Idea was doing this. We were selling a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff. Speaking of Idea, actually, I think this would be a great thing to bring up right now, as it does concern one of our mods, technically. I would very much like to bring the furniture store back. However, if it is going to come back, we are going to change it significantly. And what does this mean? Well, one, leave feedback in the forum. Two, what I would like to do is I would like to open up the furniture shop as like a catalog in a Discord channel, and then you can just mail us by making a ticket, and then we can get that going. So I would very much, like I said, bring back the furniture store, but it needs to come back in a completely different capacity because it just did not function the way we wanted it to. Yeah, a lot of people couldn't visit due to time zones. It was kind of draining because you're essentially being a retail worker begging for somebody to come for like 2 hours. And obviously, nobody really wanted to do that. So thank you, Tude. Huge shout out to Tude for manning the storefront as long as he did. Yeah. So, catalog, let's go. No, the form is not wheel shaped, but fill out the form. We need the form. It's very important. We cannot make things better for you without the form. So we're gonna give it what do you think? 10 more minutes, give or take, for questions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10
I
more to
think that
make it a
sounds
nice
good.
clean hour.
Boo-boo.
So if you got any more questions, if we missed a question especially, please rewrite it. We will comb through the chat just to find a question, but if you yeah. Yep. Any last minute speakers who want to come up as well? We do give priority to voice chatters over text chatters. Zerat is currently unavailable. I believe this is still EP hour for him.
He's a sleepy boy. I will say one other thing about Castle specifically. We did not love people making production floors to level up the mod levels. It felt very gamified and very anti-RP to just like have like an industrial floor for the sake of grinding mod levels. So be aware that we will probably bonk the fuck out of you for that next season, if those levels even return.
Whoa. I didn't even have a crafting floor. Thank you very much. I got rid of it entirely. But real quick question for you, Hiltier. Whenever the next whitelist opens up, you can absolutely submit your characters. You just
Time frame is looking more around either late November or early December at the earliest. Pretty much after we figure out RP and magic levels.
Chrismel, to answer your question about lag during events, part of it is the castles because the castles are always loaded. And that causes heavy server lag. Some of it is just people have bad connections. And it's a back-end server issue on how the game actually connects people to the server. So yes and no to answer your question.
Another part to add to that is forces also add to the lag because they are considered similar to player entities.
Yeah, there was if a horse lag isn't as bad as it was because they did change the player model with the Oakville update for
Mhm.
horses. But it is still pretty bad. So this is just a general reminder. If you didn't know, please, if you're at a large server event, so if it's an unlock event or something, please don't have your horse there. Please leave your horse at home. Please run around in wolf form because having everybody's there and everybody's horses there does significantly add to the lag. That's kind of a politeness courtesy thing that sort of started to slip through the cracks a little bit towards the latter half of the season. So just a gentle reminder while we're on the subject. Remember to leave your horse at home if it's a server event. Chris Mel asked the lag issues during events. We do our best. Unfortunately, we don't want to say that like half of our player base can't come to unlock events, for example. But if 80 people are online for it, it's just gonna be laggy because the game's not really built for it, to be honest. For events, we've had some pretty good success with splitting the player base up into several smaller groups, and we'll continue to experiment with that to mitigate lag as much as we can, especially if it's like combat heavy. But there is only so much we can do. We're doing our best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like the
Dracula will-
Luminance event, for example. We had what 97 people online at the server, including staff, at our peak. That's a lot of people, and it's just kind of the game is made of spaghetti, so we just simply can't handle having almost 100 people in one region without it, killing the server. So we will absolutely try and split things up as we can. Um, Horses dying really helps a lot. It's why if I'm an EV, I murder horses, just to get them out of the way, make it less laggy. Um, so there's that. Using necromancy also really screws with lag. Giant AOE stations and Vespertine. The thing about the stations, this is more so like don't have 20 stations, right? It's people were just kind of grinding out all of their bloodcraft skills immediately with as many crafting stations as humanly possible. We just don't want to see that because it looks really goofy. And arguably
we
power
were
gaming.
finding castles. To give you an idea of what we're talking about, Vespertine, we were finding castles while doing like deliveries and stuff, where they had like an extra floor, and the floor was literally like the entire width of their castle, wall to wall, all blacksmithing, like all anvils going, making iron
Yeah.
weapons with surrounded by the mimic chests to eat them, and just like do like a constant run of like hundreds of iron weapons to grind up their blacksmithing. Just stuff like that. Those like big it's just so gamified and so ugly. It's just not what we want to see. Yes, you can still have a workshop floor. Obviously, I will always put my workshops all in very nice, neat, streamlined, compact order. That's fucking fine. We just mean, yeah, no, not we're not talking about furnaces. We're talking about like the crafting stations. Like we found people that had like 30 looms. You don't need 30 looms. Like 2, sure. 30, no.
Yeah, it's just, and this is assuming we even bring back those professions in the same capacity, right? Because of how goofy it was. And still, I'm very unhappy with the Bloodcraft mod developer for baking in profession like level 100 weapons, just getting an extra 2 or 3 power for because fuck you. Not a fan of that. I think it's 10% extra on weapons and armor. If you hear a dog, that's just the rat coming to annoy me. So yeah.
Ready. We got 3 minutes till. Does anyone have any other questions that they need answered?
Yep, we got one from Crayon. Was there an answer to the question of limit to the complexity of clipping requests? Don't want to ask or expect things that are
Oh,
that are too complicated. Yeah.
I had already answered that in text, but just in case, hi Evie. If you need to make a clipping request, it's okay to make it as complex as you need. We're, just please make it detailed in your explanation of what exactly you want. I'm going to call out a player here. She's a longtime player, Snow. You are very detailed in what you actually want for your clipping requests, and I appreciate that. So there may be a lot of things that we need clipped, but you always give us screenshots, positioning, and details, and it's very appreciated. So just as an example, you can put in whatever you want, just be detailed in where you want things. But yes, use Snow as the gold standard for clipping requests. Please fill out your form.
Fill out your feedback form, guys. I don't know if you realized, but we like really depend on that feedback to make sure that season 2 is
Ooh.
fun for as many people as possible.
Question from Sold. Will there be the one vampire versus humans infection thingy?
Yeah,
This was
so
a fun meme. I doubt it'll ever happen. At least not next season.
no. So sometimes, because the break is so long, actually, Frank,
Oh,
sir, because the break is so long, I would like to do this over a long weekend where we basically play like a server-wide game of Werewolf. So, like on like a Friday, we'll let people come in. You're going to start with like max gear. Everyone can go build a castle. And then on first thing Saturday morning, we'll give everyone that's human the human buff in game. And then one clan will be vampires. And their goal is to infect everybody else on the server. And so it'll be like an in character thing. And I don't know, we'll pop bats for it, but that's it. And it'll be like a one off, no whitelist. Come long weekend, play a full game of Werewolf.
That sounds pretty awesome. There's something that we could potentially do, I wonder. Maybe make a vampire tag that makes them extra affected by things like holy and give out humans
Ooh,
holy spells, huh? That would be pretty hot.
Ooh, that
that
would
would
be
be pretty cool.
fun. Yeah, so
Mhm.
stay tuned. We got a lot to work on logistically. I want to make sure that we're doing it at a if it happens between these seasons, it will only happen if we're prepped with everything else. So if we're on schedule, things are going well, we have some time to kill in like December. It's like, yeah, like let's do this on a weekend, like a fun, get together community thing. We'll do it. I'm not saying yes 100% because I don't know how overwhelmed we'll be. I don't know how much work we're going to have to do. I don't know how much writing we got to do. It's not going to be on Christmas, Sully. No. So yes, I really want to do this. It'll happen eventually, probably between this season and next season since the break is a little longer than normal. So yeah, watch announcements. It'll be yeah, they could just turbo die if they go out in the sun.
Okay,
That
well,
could be
now
fun.
that you've got me excited, because I've talked about this as a joke in general chat plenty of times, we could actually facilitate this pretty easily, to be honest. Just give us at minimum a month, and we could make that no problem.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm so excited.
And the only reason why I say at least a month is because all admins are taking, except for a skeleton crew, a forced Novi Rising vacation.
Ophelia, to answer your question, will EV signups be a thing next season? Yes, we do that every season. EV applications will be open before the season starts, so then people who want to EV can sign up into the application.
Yes. And if you were an EV this season, a reminder to all of you, I appreciate you immensely. For those that showed up to events consistently, it's great. I thank you. And as well to our builders. All of you lost your role, but that's just how we do things.
Yep, it is not. We don't dislike you. It's not that. It is simply we remove it so then we can do some work on the background stuff and then open it up fresh and new for the new EVs that come in.
Mm-hmm. All right, now this is just turning into Town of Salem. Sully.
Friendly reminder again, I said it before, I'll say it to everyone who I see overcooking. Do not overcook. Overcooking is the devil. If your cooking does not fit within the scope of the server, we will smack it down. So please be patient with cooking your characters. Give yourselves a general premise. Do not start writing all this fantastical shit before we put out lore.
Yes, it is stressful to come up with an entire like plot of what you want to do, and then find out it doesn't really fit the lore like at all. So you got 3 months. Wait at least 1 month, preferably 2. Hell, I personally prefer you wait for the preseason community meeting, but if you want to have like basic concepts sorted before you get to that meeting, that's okay. Just don't go into like
Don't write 50 pages.
yeah, don't give us a 150-page Google Doc, please. I
Spend the
will
next
read it,
spend
but
the
I will
next
hate
two and
you.
spend the next 2.5 months deciding what your hair color is going to be, and then a half a month after that actually writing your character.
We don't want to have to smack down your work, but we will.
Yes.
We forgot to say this earlier, but journals, bats, and stories will be open for 1 more week. So you can write characters letters, you can send, write your text RP epilogues. So we will close those in the evening on October 5th. So you've got 1 calendar week to do those.
What do you mean? Google Docs are my favorite. I have to read every single page. It's great.
Don't even test me. I will read every page on the application.
I know we do.
We have
Check
to
those, we're not joking.
because then if someone's like, but it's been in my whitelist this entire time, and it's like, oh fuck, who didn't read the Google Doc?
Yeah. On that note, I know there were some questions this season. If there are some things that you have not like written in your whitelist, but like are super minor, um, maybe check with us in an RPO ticket. Or if there's a detail you think was not worth mentioning inside your whitelist, you should totally check with us still. Like there are some things that we just didn't know about in a whitelist, for example, and they ended up being kind of relevant to your character. Just little things like that. We don't care if people add additional details, of course not, because at the end of the day, it's your character. You're here to have fun, right? But we also need to make sure that it works with the lore and everything. Like if you give yourself a special ability or a certain characteristic. That's okay, y'all. I never remember my whitelist anyway. I make it the day, like the day I am whitelisting, about an hour before. I spent more time thinking of my name than what to do for my backstory. Still a few paragraphs. Don't get me wrong.
I would agree with the brief synopsis, and then like any major things you should make sure to get okayed through PO. And
I'll say for whitelists in general, it's best to leave it factual. Try to not use purple prose with your whitelist. Just give us a brief summary of events, like what would be on a book report, rather than let me tell you the tale.
Yeah, I don't want to
just
read the book of your character. Just we need the facts.
Listen,
Excuse you.
Hestia,
I've never
don't tell
been
me about
gored.
that. What?
Oh, you're right. Because he's continuously taking my names. I'm being replaced by Gregor.
Gregor?
Yeah,
At
slowly
long
over
last,
time.
an upgrade.
What the fuck?
I'm just saying, man.
He has more letters with his name. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have a question, or are
Yeah.
we good
Do we got
end
any
the
more
meeting?
questions?
Because we're sitting at an hour right now.
If you need to come up, say your piece. This is your last few minutes rather.
Until 5.5 hours from now when we do this all over.
Cool. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, guys. We will see you all in 5.5 hours. Unless you're not here. The second meeting will be literally identical to this meeting. So if you were here, you don't need to show up. You can if you want to. If you think of other questions and you wanna peep by to say hi, you're welcome to. But yeah, we don't. If you want to be the first person to touch the sacred feedback form, make sure you're here waiting in chat for that link.
Hestia, real quick, any workshops you want can happen anytime, whenever someone feels like making one. Yeah, make a ticket. As Boris said.
I will be doing. I'm not gonna reach my character workshop again because but frankly, I wouldn't make any changes to it. But the recording is there. I'm planning on doing a workshop on healthy ways to approach romance RP, bleed, and oh god, what was the other one?
I think the romance one is definitely needed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, romance RP, bleed, and I was gonna on healthy conflict resolution and out of character communication around conflict are gonna be my 3 workshops between times. So once we've got solid cooking and I feel comfortable putting those together, those workshops will happen probably in late November, early December. I will put them on the calendar and pop an announcement when I know.
But yeah, aside from that, go on, shoo. We're done here until 5.5 hours. Go. Goodbye. Farewell. Yes, please host your meetings. Goodbye. All right. Yeah, nice simple. Do you think we're good to get rid of the faction channels now? Okay.
Nightfall Edging.
Okay. I think we should put out our announcement all the same. Just be like, hey, this is your final reminder. Or do you want to do that after the second meeting is over? Mm-hmm.